It's the Texas weather discussion video for Monday, the 27th of August. I'm Donovan Neal. We continue with this dry, hot weather pattern for the last week of August as we wrap up August and head into September, where meteorological fall begins September the 1st. So let's take a look at our upper air look across the nation, across the continental United States this morning. You can see we still have broad ridging here in North Texas, but we have another upper level high that's basically developing in the southeastern United States near Nashville, Tennessee, and parts of the deep southern states. But the main mid-latitude westerlies, the main trough activity remains to the northeast, where they could see some strong to severe storms later today. But North Texas, we continue to remain dry. Across the watch warning map, we have heat advisories in effect for much of Illinois and parts of the surrounding states, and also parts of the northeastern United States as well. But down here in Texas, we continue to remain quiet. On the convective outlooks, we have an area of standard slight risk in effect for parts of the Great Lakes states near Michigan and much of Wisconsin. And surrounding that, we have a marginal risk in effect for much of the northern plains extending into the Great Lakes states. On day 2, that risk activity shifts more to the south, and on day 3, that we have a marginal risk in effect for parts of Tulsa extending into Maine. And notice how North Texas is solidly in the green, which means we'll see a risk of isolated thunder, but no organized severe weather is expected. We'll talk more about that later. This is the average rainfall for the next 7 days, valid through Monday morning of next week. Heavier totals basically remain in the Midwest in the Corn Belt region, but down here in North Texas, we continue to remain dry for the next 7 to 10 days, for the next several days actually. So let's take a look at the tropics. In the Atlantic Basin, we continue to remain quiet as a mouse for the next 48 hours to 5 days. But as we're heading into the peak of the hurricane season, I am always very wary about activity that could emerge from the African coast. And of course, we are seeing some convection firing up from the African coast, so we'll always have to keep a close eye on this. The peak of the hurricane season comes mid-September, so we'll always have to keep an eye on things around this time. But let's see how the Central Pacific is holding up. This is Tropical Depression Lane, several hundred miles off of the Hawaiian coast. It's a tropical depression with maximum sustained winds at 35 miles an hour. It's moving to the west at this point, but later this evening, it is expected to gradually turn to the northwest, kick off to sea, and it could re-intensify to a tropical storm by Wednesday. But the good news is it'll be well to the northwest of the Hawaiian Islands, not impacting any land masses. So that's done with that. Let's go to Tropical Storm Myram. That's basically around 2,000 miles to the east of the Hawaiian Islands. Maximum sustained winds are at 60. It's expected to intensify to a hurricane later today. But the good news is, again, it'll kick off to the north and not affect the Hawaiian Islands at all. So the Hawaiian Islands is pretty much clear from any danger from any tropical activity at this time. So model fans, let's go. This is the 06Z run to the GFS, valid this afternoon at 1 o'clock. At 500 millibars, around 18 to 20,000 feet off the ground. You can see we have that main trough activity off to the northwest. Down here, we continue to remain dry. North Texas continues to remain dry. Again, highs will remain in the upper 90s with lots and lots of sunshine and with humid air. Same thing on Tuesday and same thing on Wednesday. The weather for midweek really doesn't change much. Highs will pretty much remain in the mid to upper 90s. Now, a couple of forecasts do indicate the chance for maybe an isolated shower or storm or two, but the chance is so small it's not even worth mentioning in the forecast. So we'll continue to leave a dry forecast with highs in the upper 90s. And Thursday, the GFS continues to indicate a chance at least a 10 to 20% chance of at least an isolated shower or storm or two. But again, like I said, chance is so small, not even worth mentioning. Highs will stay in the mid to upper 90s. And here's Friday Friday, as we almost get into the weekend, the last day of August, again, will continue to remain dry. Highs in the mid 90s with more sun than clouds. And here's Saturday as the weekend begins, the first day of September, which is also the first day of meteorological fall. We continue to remain dry again with highs in the mid 90s. We'll see lots and lots of sunshine, and same thing on Sunday. Now here's a week from today. Monday the 3rd of August. Troughing continues to remain in the northeast. Down here, we continue to re-roll with the dry forecast again with highs in the mid 90s. Now here's the end of the 10-day forecast period. This is Wednesday the 5th of September. Broad ridging really in effect for much of the continent, and down here we continue to remain dry. And let's go out to the GFS ensemble for the numbers for the next 15 days. As we close out August and head into September, highs will basically remain in the upper 90s to near the triple digits. But as we start September, that quickly changes as we see highs decrease to the mid to low 90s, and even as we head into mid-September, those highs continue to decrease to the upper 80s to low 90s, which is great for this time of the year, but still a little bit above average. That's it for the Texas weather discussion video for today. I'll remember it's in the blog. Next video here should be posted at around 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. If you can, catch your local TV stations on the air this evening at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and Godspeed.